In this video I'm going to show you how to submit a project request. That essentially means anything you want to do to meet learning standards and earn partial credit for your particular courses. So it could mean going to a museum and you want to attach a couple learning standards to that. You could be taking an online course that would meet half of the learning standards. You could write a plan for that. You might want to write a essay about a book that you really liked, and that could meet some writing standards. So in order to do any of those things, you will go up to this button here, click it, and go down to where it says write a plan. Now it will offer you a lot of different choices, and each one is somewhat tailored to that particular way of earning credit or meeting learning standards. I'm just going to show you the general project proposal form, which is probably what you'll be using most. They all follow the same general pattern. So let's say I want to do a photo essay on immigration to the United States. I'll give you'd write in a brief project description, research the immigrant experience. So it's going to be a photo essay, so something I'm going to show photos and I'm going to write about them a little bit. So the different sources you can use to begin this project list here. When you submit it to your advisor for approval, he or she may send it back to you and say, well, here's a couple more sources you might want to use. So it's kind of flexible here, but the basic the sources that you have in mind, put them right here. So if you put a website in, xyz.com, add it in, a book, the title, etc., you'd add that in. Maybe you came across some really interesting stories in a newspaper archive, online newspaper archive website. You could put that in, and whatever sources you want to use to create your project. So the final product to use, you maybe put in, let's say, 20 slides each with a paragraph description. Okay, you can maybe maybe you want to do a Prezi or a PowerPoint. You could add that in. Okay, so here in the next section is where you'd say map the project. You want to include all the relevant teachers on this project so they can help assess it. So for example, you always want to add your advisor on. So that would be me here. Now, because I'm English and Social Studies, the test student here wouldn't need to add anybody else. But let's say it's a math project, and I'm not certified in math, and the other certified teacher would have to assess the final product or whatever the student is turning in. So you might want to add John Hagermeister in the high school. Okay, you'd add both those on, so everybody will be in the loop, so to say, with notifications that are sent, work that's submitted, etc. Come here, starting date, let's say 2 weeks. Okay, and down here is where we pick learning standards. I think it's probably advisable to say, depending on the length of the project, or if it's a course, maybe it's a little different, but if it's kind of just a project like this, maybe a couple of standards you would attach to it. Your advisor can help you as well, identifying what standards would be met by whatever project you're submitting. So just do your best to go through and find a relevant course. So we're going to do a U.S. So we'll close. We'll go down to U.S. history and open that up, and we'll go through and let's see, impact of immigration pros and cons. We're not really arguing here, we're just kind of describing. So I'm just going to select this one, and when you highlight this, it'll show you some more specifics. Okay, click add. Okay, and I'm going to just leave it at 1, but there's one kind of neat thing I want to point out here. Once, let's say we got finished with the project, it was submitted to the advisor, it was graded, etc., and you got an A on it. Okay, now the next time you came through here and we're scrolling through those standards, that standard down here would show up in green, meaning that you've already met that standard and you don't need to do it again. Okay, so as you go through the year, the standards will become highlighted. That means that you have met those and you don't need to do them again. Now, this little number next to the standard means that is the number of times you have to meet that standard. So this becomes important when you need to practice skills over and over again. So in English, there's one standard that says a range of writing. So that would mean to me you'd probably have to hit that 6 to 8, maybe 10 times, depending, because you have to write a descriptive essay, narrative essay, persuasive essay, all those different things you need to do again and again. But whatever your teacher decides how many times you need to hit that standard, it will show up in the brackets there. Okay, so you don't need to worry about figuring out how many credits you're going to earn. Your teacher or advisor can work with you on that. Okay, when you're finished, you click Send to My Advisor for review. Your advisor will get a notification, and he or she will either approve it, and then it'll show up as approved in your main page here, or they'll send it back with suggestions. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a general overview of how to send your teacher work that you want to do and get credit for it. Okay, we'll see you next time.